We'll just give a couple of minutes to the participants to join in and settle down, and then we'll get started with today's session. Uh, in the meantime, while we are waiting for the participants to join, let me just share with you little information about something which is very important, and that will help you effectively participate in today's webinar, and that is getting response from me on questions, queries, or any doubt that you may have. So down below, if you look, there's an option which says Q&A. You have to use that option to ask your question, or in fact, there are two options down there. One says Q&A, another is chat. So Q&A is something which we will be using for questions and answers. So if there is anything which is not clear to you, or if there is anything that you would want to understand or you want me to elaborate further, in that case, you can use the Q&A option. However, for interaction, so for example, if there is anything on which I need your response, or if you would want to interact with other participants who are also joining today's session, so in that case, I would encourage that you should use the chat option instead of Q&A. Because this is where sometime in the chat there's a lot of interaction happening between the members. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm just ensuring that the live stream is working properly. Yeah, so coming back to the point, why am I recommending that you should add your questions to the Q&A and not to the chat? Because this is uh, this is where in the chat there's a lot of exchange happening between the participants, and that's why uh, there is a possibility that your question might get missed. I can see there's a question by the member. I am the only one in the today's session. Certainly not. This is a webinar format, so other than me, you'll not be able to see anyone else. However, there are many members. So yes, you are not, Mr. Shah, you are not the only one who's participating here. There are a number of other participants who have also joined us here today. So that was something I thought of sharing with you about interacting or engaging with me. I can see one of the participants has raised their hand. So I will not be able to allow you to unmute your mic because this is a webinar format. This is not a meeting format. So if you have a question, you can add that to the Q&A. Towards the end of the session, we'll dedicate some time and we will answer your question. In fact, I will also share my contact details. So if there is anything which I will, in case I'm not able to answer that question to your satisfaction, in that case, we can even connect on a one-to-one session at a later time, and I'll try to provide you a resolution or an answer to your question or concern. All right, so will we be sharing the recording of this session? Yes, certainly we will be sharing recording of today's session. So don't worry on that. You will be getting recording of today's session, certainly. So just one more minute and then we'll get started with today's webinar. And I am very quickly going to share my details in the chat. So if any one of you would like to connect at a later time to get assistance, or you would want to discuss something in detail in person, you can reach out to me, or you can feel free to reach out to me. All right, so this is where I think we should get started with today's session. And I can see there are a lot of members who have just joined in. So I should also welcome them. So good evening and a warm welcome to all the participants who are joining us here today. My name is Adnan. I'm Director SME Ecommerce Growth at GlobalLinker. My functional or my focus area at GlobalLinker is digital commerce. But in addition to that, I actively work on providing information or knowledge to business owners like you on how they can use digital and technology to grow their business. Because I personally believe in today's day and age, the presence or the availability of technology or digital solution is not a challenge, but the challenge is knowing how to use that digital or technology solution. That is where I try to contribute. And so far, I had been able to conduct about 400 such sessions. and had the wonderful opportunity of connecting and interacting with about 12,000 business owners in various countries. So that was a brief introduction about myself. Now, without spending any more time, I can imagine you all are extremely excited to understand about this wonderful opportunity that we are all Indians are blessed to have. That is ONDC. So let's understand more about ONDC and how you can start utilizing this wonderful opportunity. So in next few seconds, you'll start seeing my screen. But before I do that, there is one additional point sorry, there's one more additional point that I would want to share with you. And what is that point? Sometime in my previous webinars, there had been instances where when I started sharing my screen, certain members were not able to see that screen, right? Why it was happening? And it particularly happens with the participants who are joining through their smartphones. It does not happen with the individuals who are joining through their desktops or laptop devices. It particularly happens with smartphones, wherein what happens when we start sharing the screen, it does not go full screen. It keeps appearing in the small size. So, and they are certainly not able to see the screen and understand anything which I'm sharing with them. So, how to solve for that challenge? If unfortunately, when I start sharing the screen, you also face that problem. So, there are two solutions that I would want to recommend to you. The first one is you can try turning the device. So a lot of time when we are joining any online session or we are doing video call, so we typically hold our device like this, right? So we typically hold it like this in a portrait mode. So instead of holding it like this, if you turn it around, that should solve the problem. That is one solution which is available. Second is you can log out and log in again, and that should solve the problem. So just sharing in case any one of you also face this problem. So this is something which you can try out. All right, so this is where let's get started. And I'm going to start sharing my screen very quickly, and then we will bring up a small presentation. It is not a very long presentation, don't worry on that. And then we will uh, move on to understand the step-by-step process. So just in a couple of seconds, you'll start seeing my screen. Uh, and let me just minimize it so that it is not obstructing our view. I can imagine that all of you can see my screen now. So we'll quickly move on to the discussion now. And this is where, let me firstly give you a little background. Why do business owners like you need ONDC? So this is where I've tried to create a use case and then try to explain the usability. So here, just imagine that you are a business owner and you want to grow your business. Now, to grow your business, digital is the way forward, right? We all understand and agree on that. Now, when we want to grow our business, how can we do that if we want to attract more buyers? And this is where I'm talking more specific to the B2C side of business. I'm not referring to B2B because the ONDC B2B is in works and it will be available in some time. At the moment, the ONDC which is available, which you can utilize right now, is for B2C, business to customer or direct to customers, right? So this is where just imagine that you are a business that is into business to customers or you are into direct to customers and you want to grow your business. Now, what are the two options or two avenues which are available to you? The first avenue is you can create your own online store, which means your own website where people can come and they can place an order. Now, if you're thinking of going that route, then there is a big challenge that you have to overcome. What is that big challenge? That is to digitally marketing your business, right? So, because digital is like a vast ocean. The World Wide Web is vast ocean, and there are like millions and millions of websites which are out there. Now, how does a customer know that this is a website where I should go if I'm looking for this type of product, right? They don't. So that's where you have to attract their attention. To attract their attention, you have to do digital marketing, and that is one route which is highlighted here, right? Here you can see have online store and digital marketing that you have to do. Now, the other route which you can take is I can see Mr. Anil Kumar has raised your hand. Mr. Anil, towards the end of the session, we'll have a question answer round, and that's where I will answer your question. You can add your question in the Q&A. So the next or the other alternate that you have is to start showcasing your products on a marketplace. So in that case, you have to shell out commission. Now, few very basic calculations that I've done here. If you're creating your online store, now what type of amount you should consider spending if you want to generate something. So if you want to generate 100 orders, and assuming you are having a 5% conversions, typically for a new business, it is even lower. It is around 1 to 2%. So that's where you'll get 2,000 visitors onto your websites. And assuming that cost per click is 20, you're not in a very highly competitive category. In that case, you'll end up spending something around 40,000 rupees to generate that business. Whatever business is generated, that is a different story, but you'll end up having that kind of expense. On a marketplace, you don't have to shell out anything upfront, but there is a commission that you have to pay. So assuming you're paying 15% commission, somewhere around 15,000 is again going out of your pocket, right? And on marketplaces, there are other challenges as well. Now, very simply, I've tried to put together the ONDC ecosystem. Firstly, many individuals or business owners have interacted with, they have a misinterpretation, or they have a notion that ONDC is a platform similar to the marketplaces that we have, Amazon, Flipkarts, etc. But ONDC is a network. It is not a platform. It is a network that connects buyers and sellers, or that connects buyer applications and seller applications. So it is basically connecting the seller applications like GlobalLinker, and you can have your online store, so you can become a seller here. Similarly, there are buyer applications like Paytm, there is My Store, etc., etc. So you can go to ONDC websites, and there's a detailed list of buyer applications which are there. So it is basically connecting or making that interaction or exchange possible. So how the ONDC network will help you. So this is where, as a seller, and again the same story continues. So this is where, as a seller, you are creating your online store, and as a DIY mode, you don't end up spending. So you can create it for free on GlobalLinker. Now, once you have created your online store and you have uploaded all the required information and you have ensured that everything is correctly added, that is where your products through the ONDC networks will start appearing on the buyer applications. Now, once they start appearing on the buyer applications, the buyers which are being invited to the buyer applications by the buyer applications, right? So this is where you can see the responsibilities or the focus areas are very clearly divided. Seller applications like GlobalLinker are focusing, or they are working on bringing together maximum number of sellers so that the product offering can be optimized. At the same time, buyer applications are working on bringing as many buyers on the platform to increase the eyeballs or footfall and resultant conversions as well, right? So that is what buyer applications are doing. So a buyer comes and they come on the buyer application and they place an order. So the order which you are seeing here, let me just highlight that. So the order comes through the ONDC network and to your online store. You review that order. So it is received on your online store, and then you deliver that order. So once you have delivered that order, then the buyer application will release the payment. It will come to GlobalLinker, and then it will come to you, which is denoted by this arrow. So that's how the entire engagement will work. So this is where again I have put together a similar sort of analysis. So here, if you're getting 1,000 orders at the moment, you'll not be spending anything. You'll be able to list your product for free, and there is a buyer finder fee which is charged by buyer application, but it is added back to the order, so it is essentially being paid by the customers. You'll end up paying just a little bit of tax which is there. Other than that, you'll be getting the entire value. In future, there will be a nominal charge, but that will again be very nominal. It will not be anything like which the marketplaces are charging at the moment. All right. So that is the ONDC construct. Now, how to list your products on ONDC. So there are 4 stages to it. The first one is enabling ONDC. The second one is mapping your products to the ONDC. The third one is adding ONDC mandatory information. And then the fourth one is complying with the other ONDC mandatory requirement. Now, these may sound very technical and very difficult, but these are extremely easy. And if you are someone who has already created an account or who has already created an online store on GlobalLinker, then you'll find them extremely easy and simple to do. So this is where now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my screen and I will very quickly take you to the seller panel of a demonstration store and where we will learn the next steps. So, all right, let me just very quickly switch my screen. So this is where, sorry, wrong screen. This is where we are on the seller panel of a demonstration store. I will also quickly open the front end of this demonstration store so that you can also see it visually. This is a demonstration store that we have, which I use for conducting these training workshops and seminars. So this is a demonstration store, and obviously from the looks of it, you can see it is something that we had been using for our training workshops. Now, coming back to the first point in the presentation, let me just go back to the presentation. Enabling ONDC on your online store. How do you do that? So for that, I am again going to take you to the seller panel. So this is where the very first step or your journey start is from the seller panel of your online store. You have to log into your GlobalLinker account and then open the seller panel. In case you are not aware how to do that, you have to just log into your GlobalLinker account, and once you have logged in, you will see there's an option which says online store. You have to click on that, which will open the seller panel. I've already opened that for the benefit of time. Now, what is the next step? The next step after you have opened the seller panel, so far I'm assuming everyone is clear about the steps. Now, if you're someone who hasn't created an online store, I can imagine there must be some participants. We always have someone who hasn't created an online store. So they are sitting and they are feeling a little confused. What should I do? I haven't created an online store. No worries. What you should do is you should also do the same thing. Log into your account. And in case you have not even signed up on GlobalLinker, very simple. Just go to GlobalLinker. You can type globallinker.com. I'll also share the link in the chat. It is globallinker.com. Uh, Go there, sign up and create your account. If you have already created your account and not created an online store, very simple. Just come here, click on online store, and similar sort of interface will open up. Just keep following the steps and very easily you'll be able to create the online store. Now coming back to where we were. So this is where we were wanting to understand how to enable ONDC on your online store. The very first step that I have in the presentation. So for that, you have to open the seller panel of your online store. This is how it will open up. This is called the home screen of your seller panel. So once the seller panel is opened up, in the left navigation, now I'm saying left navigation. Now many of you may not be understanding what is left navigation. So the buttons or options that you are seeing here on the left side of the screen, these buttons, these are called left navigations because they are in the left side of the screen. That's why. So this is where you will see there's an option which says store settings, right? So here you can see it says store setting. I'm also highlighting it for everyone's reference. So you have to click on that, and then you have to click on the very first option. So it will expand. You can see it has expanded, and there are many options out there. So you have to click on this option which says store details, and which will open a page. And now here you can see there are many horizontal tabs, right? So here there are many horizontal tabs and you can see enable ONDC. So you'll be absolutely tempted to click on it, but you don't have to do that. You have to, I can see Mr. Anil Kumar has raised his hand once again. Mr. Anil, I will not be able to, and someone else has raised their hand. So whosoever is raising your hands, please add your questions in the Q&A. I will answer them. Don't worry on that. Now, coming back to our discussion. So once you have clicked on store settings, now I'll have to just go a little one step back so that I can bring the context back. No worries. So once you have opened the seller panel of your online store, in the left navigation, you have to click on store settings. And after that, you have to click on store details. Now this page will open up and here you will certainly be tempted to click on enable ONDC. But before you do that, there's one more step I would want to do, or I want you to do, and that is you have to click on this tab which says address, and then this page will open up. Now here, very small thing that you have to do is you have to check the address which you have added to your online store. It is correct address, and also ensure that you have added the Google location. In case you haven't added the Google location, then you should do. Otherwise, ONDC will not get enabled on your online store. So it is a very important step that you should not miss out on. So click on address, this page will open up. Just check and ensure that the address is properly updated and the Google location is added. Once you have added the Google location, in case it was missing from your online store, then add that and then click on save, and the address will get updated. Once you have ensured that the address is correctly added and the Google location is also added, in that case, now you can proceed to enable ONDC on your online store. Now you can click on enable ONDC, which will open this page. Now, for the benefit of time, you will see that I've already added the details so that you can understand how the information goes. So once you have clicked on enable ONDC, this page will open up. Now on this page, you'll see there are some mandatory requirements written here, and there is a form. You have to fill up this form. Now here on the top, the very first thing that you have to do is to input your GST number. So this is where you have to add your GST number. If you don't have a GST number, then unfortunately, you'll not be able to sell online, because as per the law, if you want to sell online, you need to have a GST number. So this is where you have to type in your GST number. Underneath that is your bank account detail, or a section where you have to input your bank account details. Now, although I have touched upon this aspect, or I have touched upon this question earlier as well when I was explaining that flow chart, but I'll answer that once again. Many people ask me that why do you need our bank detail? What is the purpose? What are you trying to do with them? So we need your bank details to pay the money to you. So how the ONDC network works is that buyer will pay to buyer application. They'll not be directly paying to you. They will be paying to the buyer applications. For example, my store is one of the buyer applications. So the buyer has placed an order on my store. So they will be making the payment to my store, and my store has received the payment from the buyer application. Now you have delivered the order to the customer. So my store will release the payment, but when they will release the payment, they'll not be releasing it to you. They will be paying to the seller network participants with whom you have joined the ONDC network. In that case, the seller network participant is who? Us, GlobalLinker. So they will be paying to us, and then we will be releasing that payment to you, right? So that's how the payment flow works on ONDC. And we need your bank details just for the reason that we have to pay the money to you for the orders which you are delivering through, or which you have received through the ONDC network, and you have delivered them. Now, in terms of bank account details, these are pretty much simple. I don't think you need any elaboration. IFSC code, bank name, branch account number. You have to input that twice. You have to specify whether it is a current account or a saving account, and the account name. So the name associated with this account. You have to input all that, and then you have to move to the beneficiary address section. This is where you have to input the beneficiary address. Now, in case if it is the same address which is there on your online store, in that case, you can select or use this option, and it will get pre-populated here. Otherwise, you can also type the address, which is not a very effort intensive thing to do. Now, once you come down here, this is where you'll see there is a TOS, or Terms of Service of ONDC participation. I would request every one of you to review this page. So how do you access this page? Down below here is TOS of ONDC participation. Please click on it and review this page. It will answer so many questions that you may have, right? About order fulfillment, eligibility, settlement charges, termination, etc. So everything is very clearly defined on this page. So please do review this page. And after you have done with your review, select this option and then click on save and enable. But before that, don't forget to activate this page. By default, it will be in this stage, right? So it will be in this disabled state. So you have to click on and make it enable and then click on save and enable. So don't forget to do that. And you will see that ONDC is enabled on your online store. There will be a congratulatory overlay similar to what you just saw, that it is enabled on your online store. You should also do that. All right. So this is how you can enable ONDC. It is not completely enabled. Your products have not started appearing on the ONDC network or nothing of that sort has happened. But you have what you have done is you have completed this step by doing this. Now we have to do two more steps, or in fact, three more steps. So let's go back to the seller panel. And now let's understand about the set step number two, that is mapping the products to the ONDC categories. For that, we have to navigate to the catalog section. So again, in the left navigation, you'll see there's an option which says catalog. And when you click on that, it again expands. And then you can see there's an option which says products. We have to click on that. And then the product section will open up. Now, to map the products to the ONDC category, you'll have to update one product manually and rest of them can be done in bulk. I'm assuming most of you will have more than 10, 20 products. So obviously doing the update one product at a time is not practically possible and neither it is feasible. I'll not even advise any one of you that you should update one product at a time. It is not wise or sensible to do that. So what you will be wanting to do is to update these products or do this mapping in bulk using an Excel file so that you can do it quickly. But for one product, you'll have to do it manually, and rest of them you can do it using the Excel file. So firstly, I'll show you the manual activity, how you can map the product, right? So for that, we'll take this product, the first one which we have on the top. It is a smartwatch. So once you have opened the product section, then you have to click on this button which says edit. So this is where, assuming that you are editing this product, so you have to click on edit, or we are updating this product for showcasing them on ONDC. So click on edit, and then this page will open up which says basic details. Now scroll down on this page and you will see there's an option which says ONDC related details. This is where down below you can see this option I'm referring to. I'll highlight that once again for everyone's reference. This is this section I'm referring to. So once you click on it, you'll see there is a category and subcategory. So it will be in this state, right? So it will say ONDC category and the subcategory will be blank. Now, what are you expected to do? So you have to click on the parent category first. Don't click on the subcategory because it will not work. You have to click on parent category, and this where you can see there are different categories. So for example, the product that we are trying to update and start showcasing on ONDC is a smartwatch. So it will fall in electronics category. You click on that, and then the subcategory drop down starts working. So this is where now we have to see if there's a smartwatch category. Yes, there is. So we have selected that, and then you have to click on save. So just click like that. So that's how the manual category update works, right? So for most of the categories, this is how it will work. But there are certain categories in grocery, or there are certain categories in groceries, or certain subcategories on grocery. Sorry for the fumble. So if I'm selecting grocery, I'll just quickly show you what I'm trying to say. So I selected grocery, and if I select where is snacks, here we have. So what I've done, I've selected groceries and I've selected snacks and branded food. And there are few additional fields there, and that's where it is asking for FSSI license number and FSSI license number, other importer or brand. So this is where again you might be getting confused. From where will I get three FSSI license number? So the answer is you have to just add one of them. So it has to be either the manufacturer, so the brand's FSSI number, or some cases it is the imported product. So in that case, the importer has taken a FSSI number, so that can be added, or if there is any other FSSI. So sometimes the product is manufactured, contract manufactured by if from a certain factory. So that factory has a FSSI number, and that is also available with the product. So the important point which I'm trying to clarify to you, and I can imagine that you might get confused or you'll have that question, that obviously there is absolutely no possibility that you'll have three FSSI numbers. So only one of them, any one of the three has to be added. Only one is required. You can have any one of the three. All right. So this was another point that I wanted to clarify. Now, with regards to mapping the category, we have understood that how you can do it manually, right? Now let's understand how you can do that in bulk. So once you have done this manually, so once you have selected the relevant category and subcategory, let me do that once again, smartwatches, and then click on save. And it is updated. You can see there's a success notification which has started appearing. So this is how you can do that in the manual process, one product at a time. Right? Now let's understand how you can do that in bulk. For that, you can either click on products here or you can click on product list. Both of them will take you to the same destination. Now here you have to click on this option which says download product. You have to click on this option, download product, which will download an Excel file. So very quickly, I'll just open the Excel file. This is where we have the Excel file. So in fact, I'll just zoom in. So this is the file, this is the product that we have updated, men's smartwatch. Now here we can see the category and subcategory are already there. So towards the extreme right side of the Excel file, you will see we have two columns, one say ONDC category and the other say ONDC parent category. The important point that you should keep in mind is that the parent category is here and the subcategory is here, right? So it is inverse. So just keep that in mind. I don't want you to add electronics here and smartphone there, smartwatch there. Obviously, it will not work. It will give an error. So please be a little cautious of that, that the parent category is the P column and the uh, ONDC category is the O column. So just be a little cautious of that. So you have updated the ONDC. So these are the columns which start appearing. Now you can copy paste the category and subcategory here very easily. So for example, if we want to just update in the other products also, they can do that. And if it is other category, you can type the name of the category and subcategory here. Very easily you can do that. Once you are done, save this file, go back to the seller panel and click on update products and upload that file. And the ONDC category will get updated, or the ONDC category mapping will happen. So that is the step number two that we have seen in the presentation. So this is the step number two, which we have seen in the presentation. So this is how you will be able to do the mapping. If you want to do it manually, you can do that. You can click on edit and you can go down and you can click on ONDC related details and you can select a relevant category and you can select a relevant subcategory and click on save. And that's how you can do that. So this is the manual, or you can do that in bulk, but before you can download that file, otherwise you'll not get the columns. So before you download this file, you should update one product at least manually. Don't make that mistake that you're straight away going and downloading the file. That's where you'll not have those ONDC category and subcategory columns. You have to update one product, at least one product manually, and then you can go and you can download that file and you can map the rest of the products using the Excel file, which I just showed to you, right? So using this Excel file, you can do that, right? So this is the mapping. Now let's quickly move to the third step, which is adding ONDC mandatory information, right? Again, you will have to add this information manually, one product, and then you can do that in bulk, right? Again, we'll use the same smartwatch example. So in that case, we'll click on the edit button once again. Sorry, uh, I'm having a bad throat, so please bear with me on that. So we have clicked on the edit button, and after that this interface has opened. Now earlier when we did the category mapping, we did that in the basic details tab, right? Now we have to do that, the other part, the ONDC mandatory information, we have to do that in price and variance. So this is where you can see that it is the adjoining tab. So you have to click on that, and then this interface opens up. Here you have to click on this button, or this icon which looks like a pencil. So you have to click on that, which opens this overlay. Overlay means pop-up. So this overlay opens up. Again, on this overlay, you have to scroll down and you will see again ONDC related details. So you click on that and it will expand. And this is where you have the manufacturer packer name, manufacturer packer address, month and year of manufacturer, net quantity, unit. And so I'll just delete that so that you can understand what values you have to input here, so that it is a little clearer, right? So here, the first field is manufacturer or packer name. Ideally, it should be the manufacturer name. So, for example, if this smartwatch has been manufactured by, let's say, Fast Track or Boat, so in that case, it will be Boat's address. However, it is either manufacturer or packer. So you are the ones who is packing the product and getting it delivered to the customer. So in that case, you can add your address as well. So if it is possible for you to add the manufacturer's name and address, you can do that. If it is not possible, you can add your own. If you are yourself manufacturer, then certainly it will be your name and your address. But I'm referring for the business owners who are in the trading or retailing business, and that's where obviously they are retailing products from certain brands or certain manufacturers. So in that case, it is your decision. So it is not like you have to compulsorily add the manufacturer address. You can also add your own address if you want. Ideally, it is better to have the manufacturer address, but it is not something which can prevent you, right? So if you'll be doing something categorically wrong, if you're adding your own address, you can do that. So it has to be either of the two. You know, already see it is written there, manufacturer or packer address. So packer is you who will be packing the order and delivering it to the customer. So it has to be either of the two. And then you have month and year of manufacture. So you'd have to just add month and year of manufacture, net quantity, how many units are there. So for most of the products, it is 1 unit. But if it is a combo, it has 3 items in it. So in that case, you can add that. And then you have to specify net quantity. So again, what is the difference between the two fields here? So difference is, this is where you have to also specify what is the units, right? So it is like 1 dozen or 1 unit or 1 gram or 1 kilogram. So that is also specified here. So this is where you'll type 1 unit. I'll just do that so that you're not getting confused. And this is where you'll type 1 unit again, because this is smartwatches, 1 unit. Had it been like banana, so it will be like 1 dozen, and you can have you can write 1 dozen also here, right? Or if it is a edible item and it is in kilograms, so it will be 1 kilogram there and it will be one here and kilogram there, right? So that is how you have to add the ONDC mandatory information, right? So this is where you have to add. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you have to add it manually only in one product. In rest of the product, you can do that in bulk, right? So this is the manual process. I'll not be clicking on save because otherwise this product will start appearing. It is a dummy product on ONDC, so I'll not click on save. But I believe you have understood the process from where you have to go and add this information. Now, again, in grocery categories, this fields may change. I'll just quickly show you. So we'll change the category from here very quickly. I'll change that to grocery, where we have grocery, and I'll select snacks and branded food. I'll just add a dummy or hypothetical FSSI number. And then if we come here, this is where you'll see it is just additive information and nutritional information. Why am I sharing this with you? It has happened in past. There was a seller and they attended my webinar, and when they were enabling ONDC, they were not seeing manufacturer or packer name and they got confused. So just to ensure that you are not getting confused, that's why I just thought of sharing. So please don't get confused. It is little different for grocery categories, but for most of the other categories, it is the same thing. All right. So now let's understand how to update this information in bulk. So earlier we had downloaded this file. Now we have to download this file, which says download CS. We have to click on that. And again, I have already downloaded this file, and this is the file which got downloaded. It is open in front of me. I'll just zoom in and let's find that product. So, sorry. What it was smartwatch. So here we have that product, and so let's just scroll it up a little bit. This is the product. I'll just highlight that, right? So I think the details got deleted, but no worries. So I'll just take you to the file. So on this file, there are many, many columns. You have to just ignore them and scroll to the extremes right side of the file, and that's where you will see those columns which we were seeing earlier on the overlay. Manufacturer packer name, manufacturer packer address, month and year of manufacturer, net quantity. So all those columns are here. In the similar fashion, you have to populate the information in these columns. Save this file. You have to input the relevant information in these columns. Save this file. But again, I'm repeating that point, don't download this file before updating or adding information to one product manually. So click on edit, add that information the way I have shown to you manually, just one product. Once you have done that, then you can come here and download the file, and you'll see the columns are populated. You will in fact have that information in one of the products, and then you can populate the rest of the columns or rest of the rows. And once you have populated or added the information into the Excel file, then you can save this file, go back to the seller panel, and this time we have to use this option which says bulk edit CSV. Click on that and upload this file, and that's how you will be able to update the mandatory information for the products on the ONDC network. Now, this is where what we have done, we have enabled ONDC, we have mapped our products to the ONDC categorization, and we have also added the additional information which ONDC was asking for. Now, ideally, our products should start appearing. Yes, but there are few additional ONDC mandatory requirements which we should also understand. So that's the fourth point. Let's quickly understand what ONDC mandatory requirements are. So here's the list of ONDC mandatory requirements, and these are not like huge things, but these are crucial as well. The first one is the inventory of the products that you want to showcase on ONDC should be more than 5 units, equal to or more than 5 units. So if only 4 units of inventory is there for a product, it will not appear on ONDC. It has to be either 5 or greater than 5. Only then it will appear on the ONDC network. So that is the first point. How do you check and update? So you can do that manually as well. So you can come here, click on the product title, click on the edit button, and this is where you can see the inventory. It is currently 9 units, so it will appear on the ONDC network. Had it been, sorry, someone is not reducing. So had it been 4, then it will not appear on the ONDC network. If it is 5 or greater than 5, only then it will appear. So this is one place where you can come and you can add the inventory, and it will get updated, so it will increase. So this is one way you can do that. Otherwise, you can again use this file, download CSV file, and it has a inventory column. So if I can show you that, so this is the quantity column. So this is where you can input the stock, save this file, and go back to the seller panel, upload it from here, and the inventory gets updated. So that's the first point, or the first ONDC mandatory requirement. The second mandatory requirement is it should have at least one image. So if you have not uploaded an image for the products on your online store, it will not appear on ONDC. So minimum one is required. You can have more than one. That is nice to have. It will give better experience, and the user will have better engagement, and you'll have better conversions as well. But minimum one is required. So how do you check? So again, you can do that manually as well. So you can come here, click on edit. If you have uploaded products manually, then you will find the images here. If you have uploaded them in bulk, then you will find the images here. So you can check that manually as well, or you can just go to the front end of your online store, check from there, or you can check in this file also. So if you have uploaded products in bulk, in that case, why is it not scrolling? Yeah, so if you have uploaded products in bulk, so this is where you'll find the URLs are here. So it means there are images for these products. All right. So that was the second point. Summary description should be more than 60 characters. It is not 60 words. It is just 60 characters. So it has to be more than 60 characters. So the product description which you have added, it should be more than 60 characters. So how do you check for that? So very simple, just edit the product, and this is where you have the summary description. You have to ensure that it is more than 60 characters. So this is one place where you can come and check manually. If you want to check it in bulk, you can do that in Excel file, the other Excel file where we did the category mapping. How do you access this file? So if you go to the product section and you click on download product, then you will be able to download this file. And on this file, you'll see there's a column which says summary. Now here in Excel, you can use a formula which is len, and then just select the description. So I'll just quickly do that for one product. And here you can see the description is 252 characters. So that's how you can check. So this is the bulk process, and the other one which I showed you was the manual process. So that was the third requirement. It has to be more than 60 characters. The product price should be greater than zero. This is obviously understood. You cannot sell a product as zero price. That is like giving for free. So it should be greater than zero. Again, you can check the price manually. You can come here, click on the product title, click on edit, and here you can see the price of the product. This is where we have the price. So this is the manual way. If you want to check it in bulk, click on download CSV here. The Excel file gets downloaded. I'll just quickly show that file. This is the variant file I'm referring to, not the product file. And here we have the column for price. So you can just come here very quickly. And this is where you have the selling price. So you can just put a filter here and you can check in a matter of second that the price is more than zero. Product type should be checked out. Now, this is where there are many users or there are many sellers who have a dual purpose store. So this is where they have checkout and inquiry enabled on their store. Can those products will be visible on ONDC? Yes, those will be visible. But what is important, that checkout should be enabled. Now, in case you are getting confused what does checkout and inquiry mean, so I'll just open two examples here. So for three examples, I'll open. And these are right. So the first example is for inquiry. So this is where there's a seller and they want to receive inquiry. So they don't want to receive orders, and practically it is not possible for them to receive orders. So that's why you have a inquiry. And this is another example. Let me just quickly open one of their products. So this is a order product. This is a checkout product where people can come and they can buy that product. And the third thing which I was sharing with you earlier is something like this where you have send inquiry and add to cart. So you have checkout and inquiry. So you have checkout and inquiry, both of them. So can these products will be displayed on ONDC? Yes, these can be displayed. Certainly, yes. In future, when B2B goes live, not at the moment. All right. So how do you check for these type of products? So again, you can do that in bulk or manually. If you would want to do that manually, then you have to just click on edit. And if you scroll down, this is where you have to ensure that it is checkout. So this is ticked and this is, you have to ensure this is ticked. If it is also ticked, no worries, but checkout should be ticked. If checkout is not ticked, then those products will not appear on the ONDC network, right? So that is how you can do that manually. If you want to do that in bulk, again, you have to use the product file. So the download product option, you can use this option to download the product file. And this is the file. And here we have a column for product type. This is the column I'm referring to. So here you can see checkout and inquiry. So all these products where the type is checkout, all of these products will appear on ONDC, and these products where the type is inquiry, they will not appear on ONDC network. All right. So that was the product type should be checkout. The minimum order quantity should be 1. If it is greater than 1, in that case, the product will not be displayed on ONDC network. How do you check for minimum order quantity? Just click on edit and just scroll down. And because you have uploaded the product, so you obviously know what minimum order quantity you have added, but you can come here and you can check the minimum order quantity. So that is the other mandatory requirement. Then we have product visibility should be either B2C or both. So it should not be B2B. Otherwise, the products will not appear on the ONDC network. How do you check for product visibility. For that, you have to again click on edit. I'll just quickly do that so that you can understand. So you have to click on edit. And again, on the basics tab, you have to scroll down and you'll see there's a option or there is this section which says visibility. So you have to ensure it is B2C or it is both. If it is B2B, then your products, because B2B is a controlled visibility, it is not open to public. So obviously your products will not appear on ONDC network if you have selected this option. All right. So that was another. Can you check it in bulk? Yes, you can do that. So again, the same product update file where we did the mapping. And this is where we have a column for visibility. I think I may have deleted that column. That column remains here. So this is where you can see or you can change the visibility. Then we have product customization should not be enabled. What is product customization? So there are sellers who deal in products wherein customers can get their name engraved or they can have their pictures printed, the gifting sort of products, right? So for those type of products, there is a certain feature or there is a special feature which is customization. So this feature should not be enabled. If this feature is enabled, then your products cannot be displayed on ONDC network because ONDC at the moment does not support customization product. In the newer versions, they will support the customization product, but at the moment, the current version does not support, right? So that is another ONDC, and integrated logistics should be enabled. So you have to ensure that at least one integrated logistic is enabled on your online store. So in the left navigation, if you go to store settings and if you go to shipping, that is where in the shipping tab, you'll see there's an option which says courier services. You have to ensure that either Warmership or ShipRocket, one of the two, is enabled. If they're not enabled, then your products will not be visible on ONDC. For both of them, we have added tutorial content here. So you can view the tutorial content and you can understand the process of signing up, and then you can sign up and activate. So one of the two is required. Shipmax is international, so that is irrelevant. So this was the last point in enabling ONDC. Once you have ensured that all of these are there on your online store within 48 hours or after 48 hours, so it typically takes 48 hours. So after 48 hours, your products will start appearing on the ONDC network. All right. So this was the process of enabling ONDC. This is where I am going to stop sharing my screen and we will break into the question answer round. So far I can only see there's one question. I was and see there are a few chats. So I'll request everyone to please add their questions in the Q&A. And I am in the meantime taking out or quickly sharing my contact details with the participants. We also have a tutorial video on our YouTube channel. So I'll also try to share the link of that video very quickly. In the meantime, please add your question. So I can already only see one question is there in the Q&A. So if you have any further questions, please do add that. In the meantime, I'm very quickly taking out the link of that tutorial video. We have a detailed video about enabling ONDC. So I'll just also share that here. All right, so I have also shared what happened. For some reason, the link is not getting pasted. Let me try to get the link once again. Yep. All right, so I've also shared the link. I will now start answering your questions. The first question I can see is from Mr. Nirmal. And his question is around selling combos. So in that case, you have to specify how many units of the product. So for example, uh, I can't find anything, right? So there's a pen on my desk, right? So if there's a combo that you're saying that there's a uh, three product combo wherein you are selling three products of three pens, right? So it will the number of units will be three pen. So uh, the basic fundamental which you should understand is that what is your product? Is your product this pen or a packet of five pen? If the product is a pack of five pen, then it will be one unit because that's the product. If the product is one pen and then you are selling five pens, then the number of units will be five. I hope I have answered that question. Next question is from Mr. Anil. Please share contact details of support. So I am also typing it here. Uh, It is info@linker.store. So you can drop an email, uh, and I'll also share that with everyone in the chat. Just give me a quick second. The support email ID is info@linker.store. But if any one of you want, you can also connect with me and I'll have the support team reach out to you. Next question, anonymous attendee. So how and where our customers will see your products? So the customers will be seeing your products on the buyer application. So you are a seller, you are joining as a seller on the ONDC network using a seller network participant. And there are buyer network participants, for example, Paytm or PhonePe or Meesho, Craftsvilla, my store, there are many network participants or buyer network participants which are there on the ONDC network. So your products will be appearing on those buyer applications. Uh, Next question is from Mr. Hirday Chawla. So Hirday ji, at the moment I will not advise you to enable the ONDC on your online store. Very soon, B2B will be available in case you're only dealing in bulk because the current ONDC is the retail one wherein the retail customers are buying and they're coming and buying in smaller quantities. If you're okay to sell in smaller quantities, you can proceed ahead. You can start selling on ONDC. But if you exclusively want to do it in bulk, in that case, I would advise that you should wait. And we also have a platform called Indian Business Portal, which is for export. I would advise you should also list on Indian Business Portal so that international buyers can see your offerings and they can connect with you and you can do business through Indian Business Portal as well. Next question from Mr. Nirmal. Uh, what will be the nominal charges? So nominal at the moment, buyer applications are charging somewhere around 3.5%. And as a seller network participants, we are not charging. But again, if we decide to start charging, it will again be less than what buyer applications are charging. The other two questions are from Mr. Nirmal around the same line. Phone number of support, if any. Yes, I can also share the help desk number. Just give me a quick second. I don't have that handy. So I'll need a quick second to take out the number and share it with you. So I am going to share it with Mr. Anil. So Mr. Anil has asked for our help desk contact number. So I'm just taking that out and sharing it. I am also sharing it in the chat so that if any one of you would like to connect, you can do that. Next question, Arunava Paul. What is the charges of selling on GlobalLinker platform? At the moment, we are not charging anything. It is absolutely free. In future, there will be some charge, but again, it will be very, very nominal. Another question from Mr. Nirmal. Nirmalji, just go to ONDC's website. ONDC has their own website and they have a list of buyer applications which are there. So you can go and you can see which all are the buyer applications and you can see. And once your products are live, you can also go there and check. All right, so that was the last question I could see in the Q&A. I will also quickly look into the chats. I can see there are a few chats. Just give me a quick second. Let me just make it a little bigger so that I can read. So I'm starting from the top. There's one chat. Member wants to understand, will we get the recording of the webinar? Yes, certainly you will get the recording of the webinar. And it will be emailed to all the participants on the email ID that you have used to join today's session. Nominal charges question was also there in the chat. I've answered that. Next, one question I can see in the chat is from Mr. Himanshu about the advance payment. So, Himanshu ji, the buyer application releases the payment only on confirmation of delivery. So, unless you deliver the products, buyer application will not release the payment. But this is where there are strict guidelines and procedures around that. So, if you have delivered the product and you can produce a proof of delivery, then for sure you'll get the payment. Similar question uh, is from Mr. Divan Shah also about the bulk. So, as I mentioned, if you want to retail or sell in smaller quantities, 1 unit, you can join ONDC at the moment. B2B will be uh, uh, getting live in some time. So, that's where certainly you can join the ONDC B2B. And you can also consider listing on Indian Business Portal for exports. Next question from Mr. Pranav. This is around courier. So if you were part of the presentation, one of the last step which I explained or one of the mandatory requirement is that a integrated logistics should be enabled on your online store, which implies that you have to sign up with a courier operator. So the courier operators that you're signing up, you'll use their services to deliver the orders to the customers, right? So you'll be using their services. And related to this, because many times people have asked me this question that what about the delivery charges? We want to take delivery charges from the customer. Can we do that? Yes, you can take delivery charges. All you have to do is to set them up on your online store. And the same delivery charges will be applied on the ONDC network as well. Another question I can see from Mr. Pranav only, international buyer application. Not at the moment, but yes, the ONDC will be going international as well, and there will be international buyer applications as well. Related to the logistic, again, I can see there's a question from Mr. Ajit. So I've explained there are two operators already available on the platform, which you can enable, Varmaship or ShipRocket, and you can use them to deliver orders to the customer. Charges of the delivery, you can decide how much you would want to charge. So when you're signing up with a courier operator, for example, you are signing up with ShipRocket or Varmaship, so they will provide you a rate list that these are the charges that they will be levying on you, and based on that, you can either charge the same thing from the customer, or you can add up some margin on top of it, or you can subsidize a little bit. That is entirely your decision. Uh, the last part of the question, yes, is seller to arrange the dispatch? Yes, you will be arranging the dispatch, and that's why we have already integrated logistic operators onto the platform. Uh, Next question from Mr. Vingesh. So, I am apologies if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. So around the orders, this is where, trust me, and I'm not trying to sell the solution. This is where I'm being very honest. This is a solution, and once you will join it, you'll also be pleasantly surprised at how easy it is to grow business using the ONDC network, and on top of it, without spending top dollars onto it. Because traditionally, when we wanted to grow our business, that's where we have to invest aggressively or work very hard in promoting it. But this where on the ONDC network, the beauty is that you have to be just present there, and you have, if you have all the right information, the content is absolutely important there, because ONDC also works on the basis of search. People are searching for your product, and your product, if it is appearing properly, if it has all the relevant keywords, etc., you will get a lot of orders. There was a very pleasant we have a seller, they are into pearls jewelry. Now you can imagine that is a high-end, high-ticket item, and that's where they are receiving like 10 orders a day through the ONDC network. And considering it as a high-ticket item, like 5, 6K plus sort of item, that kind of sale is already happening on ONDC. It is a wonderful solution which is available, and I would advise that you should start participating, and you will also be pleasantly surprised with how good response you can get from the ONDC network. The only effort is to ensure that your content is absolutely spot on. All right, so this is where any last question uh, before we conclude the session. Next question from Mr. Pranav only. How do we get into the courier agreement with the courier company? You can sign up directly from the interface itself. I'll just quickly show you in case, not sure if you were there when I was sharing my, sorry, wrong tab. Let's go back to the presentation very quickly, and I'll just open the seller panel. I have, yeah, here. So this is the seller panel, and we have a shipping interface or shipping management interface here. So go to settings, shipping, and here we have courier services. So for example, if you want to sign up with Varmaship, you can do that from here. We have tutorial content available here. Or if you want to sign up with ShipRocket, then click on apply, and you will be redirected to ShipRocket's website where you can sign up, come back here, input your API users detail, and you can start utilizing it. It is already pre-integrated, etc. You have to just navigate from here. All right. So I hope that clarifies that question. All right. So this is where I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. So this is where we'll conclude this session for today. Thank you everyone for taking out time and participating in the session. You already have my contact details. So if any one of you needs any assistance or you need any further clarification, do feel free to reach out to me. So once again, thank you everyone for taking out time and participating in the session. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Bye-bye from our side for now.